Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. Proverbs 3, 5-6, New Living Translation. Is it me, or is that so much easier said than done? I remember it just like it was yesterday. It was December 6, 2018, and it had been a tough, really tough couple of months. About 2 months prior, I learned that the tenant in my investment property had passed away unexpectedly. And I felt bad, really bad, for the 4 kids that she left behind, 2 teenage and 2 under the age of 10. And if I'm honest, I was also feeling pretty bad that I was now unexpectedly 100% responsible for the rent. To make matters worse, once the kids vacated the property, I learned that, unbeknownst to me, somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000 worth of damage had been done to the house, and there was no way I could put it on the market without a complete extreme makeover. Thankfully, my uncle, who is a contractor, was in between jobs and could oversee the renovation while providing the music to my ears. 2 words: family discount. But even with that discount, I'd still be out about $8,000 and have to put the home on the market during a time of year that is historically slow. Fast forward 4 weeks and all the repairs are done. The house looked absolutely amazing, especially considering how it looked 4 weeks prior. But still, the realtor felt that the best chance we had of selling the home during that slow season was to list it at $10,000 below what I believed it was worth. After all the blood, sweat, and tears my uncle and my mom, who pitched in on the project, put in my absence, hearing this news was the last thing that I expected. But thankfully, we got a buyer on Thanksgiving Day, which was my prayer. And a praise break goes right there. Plus, a week later, there was an unexpected surge in business sales, just when I had all but written the year off. I was starting to breathe again. And then this news hit. The facility that 265 Point had been operating out of would be closing for 6 weeks. And I had 3 weeks to figure out where I would relocate my clients and staff. I felt like someone had punched me in my gut until I was out of breath and gasping for air. How could they do this to me? I have no time to properly warn my clients. And then, don't they know that it's about to be the busiest season of the year for fitness? And I would stand to lose thousands of dollars in new business during this 2-month period. I had so many questions and so few answers. And this was starting to become a very familiar pattern. A pattern of the unexpected. In 40 Days of Decrease, Alicia Britt Cholet challenges us to step away from Lent as usual and fast something other than food. Day 9's lesson on rationalism and Bishop's sermon, Shall I Look for Another, have challenged me to look at the circumstances of the last 6 months and, truthfully, the last 6 years in a whole new light. Maybe, just maybe, God is asking me to fast predictability. And maybe, just maybe, you might have that opportunity too. Ask any psychologist or coach, and the need for certainty is considered a basic human need. Certainty is created when there is the perception of predictability in our lives. We all want to know that we are safe and our jobs, home life, and business ventures are stable. We have grown accustomed to a certain degree of comfort, control, and consistency. Just think about it. We get up, get dressed, and expect everything that day to be pretty much like it was the day before. And when it isn't, it can be very upsetting. Because if we're honest, unexpected change can be discouraging. Because it's tempting to make 3 assumptions. Number one, change is bad. Because number two, what I currently have is good. And number three, it's unlikely that what I currently have could get any better. But I'm learning that God is challenging that assertion in my life. And I wonder if he may be doing the same for you. You see, there are three big problems with an attachment to predictability. One, we can be lulled into reacting emotionally rather than responding thoughtfully. Reacting is asking questions like, why this? Why me? What did I do to cause this? Why did these types of things always happen to me? Responding thoughtfully is asking quality questions like, did God know this would happen? We know the answer is yes. Did he allow it? The answer is yes again. Even if he didn't cause it, if he allowed it, there's a reason. So then the question is, what is God trying to tell me or show me through this situation? I recently read an article that contended that every time something happens, we automatically ask three questions. First, what is it? Second, what does it mean? And third, what do I do now? I believe God is challenging us to re-examine that second question. And rather than always assuming that what is unpredictable is the enemy, to realize that sometimes the outcome of the unpredictability is actually good. Secondly, being attached to predictability can cause us to miss out on God-ordained opportunities. Henry Kaiser, the father of modern American shipbuilding, said it well. Problems are only opportunities in work clothes. What I learned in my Valley experience is that the answer can only be found by solving the problem. You see, the problem isn't always what we think it is. Sometimes the problem, the unpredictability, is just a vehicle being used to point us in a new direction, a direction that we wouldn't have chosen on our own. And even when the unpredictability doesn't have an eventual pleasant end, we are challenged to have faith that he can take even our most defeated and depressing moments and work them out for our ultimate good. Like my mom always says to me, Tam, all means including everything and excluding nothing. So when he says he works all things together for our good, that means the unexpected challenges, heartaches, and disappointments too. Third, if we're not careful, we can run into the third problem with predictability, making it our God, little g. When we put all of our faith and our trust in everything looking today as it did yesterday and only see tomorrow as good if it looks like today, then we are putting our faith in predictability and not him. Predictability can cause us to take things for granted and not consult him like we should or make space to listen like we should. The fact of the matter is that the only true predictability is in God. He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He is as madly in love with us today as he has ever been, despite our sins and shortcomings. He is faithful in all his ways. He will never leave us or forsake us. He continually provides wisdom to those who seek, provision to those who ask, and strength to those who are on the verge of fainting. But we must not confuse his predictable character with an assumption that he will always act in predictable ways. No, as believers, we must expect the unexpected and the unpredictable, because that's where God often does his best work. I'm about done, but I want to leave you with 3 questions to consider. Number 1, in what ways might God be challenging you to forget your fascination with predictability? Number 2, what would be possible if you opened up your mind to the possibility that the unpredictable could actually be God at work and not the enemy? And 3, what is he saying to you? What is he asking you to do now? In case you're wondering, my drama in December did work out for my good. The answer was indeed in solving the problem, And I'm so glad that he didn't let my initial natural reaction stop his plan. When I started shifting from why me to what next, everything changed. And I believe the same can happen for you. Until next time, God bless.